Welcome back to another edition of From the Desk. As I noted in my last episode, I am in beautiful Merida, Mexico for my cousin's wedding. Shout out to Katia and Celestino. Congratulations. So today we are not FTD from the desk, we are FTP from the pool. This week, a woman named Athena Niganober Mavrakos took a snowplow and drove through protesters in front of the U.S. consulate. A bit of a malaka. Watch this.
That an arms embargo. Shame. Make them move away, guys. Make them away.
Hey! What the fuck is wrong with?
As you can see in that video, Toronto police let Athena roll on through and roll on by. And then she gave the middle finger. Shout out to Jeff George for snapping this photo of Athena as she drove through the crowd. An embarrassment to her namesake, Athena, the goddess of wisdom and good counsel. But it turns out that this Athena in Toronto is also a city contractor, but also an odious, rabid racist who is anti-trans, anti-immigrant, and anti-anti-anti. Here, Athena posts a photo of a sticker on a car that says, quote, "All lives splatter. Nobody cares about your protest. Keep your ass out of the road," end quote. And there's a picture of, people being run over. The post also says, quote, "Disgusting people, men are men and women are women. Period. What is the world coming to?" Profound. Athena also wants all the bike lanes removed on Scarlet Road, just south of Eglinton. According to her LinkedIn, Athena is currently open to work. Now, I reached out to Mayor Olivia Chow's office to ask a few questions about this incident, given that she is a city contractor and there was no snow on the roads that night. Here was their response, quote, "We are aware of a troubling incident where a sidewalk plow recently drove through a group of people standing on a sidewalk in downtown Toronto. The plow, which is under contract to the city and was driven by a contractor, was conducting a dry run ahead of the winter season." Who knew Toronto did dry runs? I didn't. "The behavior displayed is completely unacceptable and falls short of the standards we expect from contractors operating on behalf of the city of Toronto. Blah, 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 blah. We have launched an immediate and comprehensive investigation and will ensure steps are taken to help prevent anything like this from happening again." Now, this was attributed to Russell Baker, Director of Media Relations and Issues in the city of Toronto. Now, the Toronto police were on site when Athena tried to plow through the protesters. Have a listen to activist and Toronto resident Jad Gingus, who documented some of the event. Watch this.
You saw the plow driving towards the crowd. You would think that they'd make a move or be like, hey, flagged. None of that. I had a little bit of a jog on because I did end up catching up to it. And that only then did Officer Chang, that's his name, the bike cop, make his way over. And I got it all on tape. I know you guys have seen it. Now, I didn't see any ID check. I saw him write some notes, but I didn't see her presenting any ID to him. It was really weird. It was a weird experience. And then they let her go. She got back in and drove off. If nothing is done about this one incident, and this person gets away with it and is not reprimanded in any way, then yes, I feel like it would embolden other people to be like, hey, we can do this.
So the Toronto police have said they will not be launching an investigation because there was no victim and no one came forward to press charges. But clearly, Athena is a menace to society and kind of a threat to a large portion of our population, including cyclists. I have put a request in to the Toronto police and will update you when I get a response. Another update to tell you about. Last episode, I told you about a new damning report by 4 Canadian NGOs showing that Canada is using a U.S. loophole to continue sending armaments to Israel through the U.S. I put a request into Global Affairs Canada, and Anita Anand's office asking about the report and how they explain all the data tracking that shows Canada is shipping arms to Israel through the United States. Here is a part of their response. Global Affairs is aware of this report and is reviewing it. Canada has not approved any new permits for items to Israel that could be used in the current conflict in Gaza since January 8th, 2024. Now, they also say that 30 export permits destined for Israel were later incorporated into items that could be used in that conflict and that they have suspended in 2024. They were suspended also, and that they cannot be exported to Israel. Pardon me, my hand is a little wet here. But that doesn't really answer the US loophole question at all on the unregulated, undocumented shipments of bullets and fighter jet parts, etc. But this is the game that Canada is playing right now, recognizing the state of Palestine, but also helping Israel to destroy it. Let's stay with Canada's Janus-faced policy here a bit, because this week an IDF press release showed Canada joined 18 other countries in going to Israel. That's right, Canadian Army commanders went to Israel to learn from the best. Entitled 19 Armies, One Seminar, Israel clearly stealing the title from the famed Two Girls, One Cup film. Israel is becoming the world's teacher. Army commanders from 19 countries went to Israel for 5 days to play with drones and observe tunnels. And they were even taken to the Israeli-controlled areas of Gaza to check out their genocide training. The IDF statement reads, over 5 days, IDF representatives presented them with the most significant capabilities and tactics the Army has developed over the past 2 years across various combat arenas, end quote. So while the genocidaires are parading across our campuses in Canada, Canadian commanders are over in Israel learning how to conduct a genocide. Splendid. Just marvelous. And again, for the more than 300th time since October 10th, Israel violated the ceasefire yesterday, killing Palestinians, targeting a civilian car, and of course, people's tattered tents and makeshift homes. The footage is horrific. There is no ceasefire in Gaza. There has never been a ceasefire in Gaza. As the prolific Palestinian writer and professor Rifat al-Arir wrote before Israel killed him, of course, on May 5th, 2021, he wrote, ceasefire? What usually happens in occupied Palestine is that Palestinians cease and Israel fires. And again today, Israel bombed a residential area in Beirut. Watch this.
هلا هون هيدي هون حد الملحم حد صالون مرت صاحبي
هي لك الغارة بالحارة ها عطى فروج وراه هناك.
Lebanon's health ministry said at least 5 people were killed and 28 others wounded in the strike, which hit an apartment building in the densely populated Dahia district. Of course, this is the BBC headline. They haven't done it in a while. It was just a bump. Come on, give Israel a break. And if you go all the way to the end of the article, you will read that Israel has killed more than 4,000 Lebanese, displaced 1.2 million people in Lebanon, and it also doesn't mention that Israel is building itself a new wall cutting right into Lebanon's territory. This is in Yarun. Listen to this resident describe what is happening. Watch this.
هذا الجدار عم بينعمل مستحدث يعني هذا مش ليوم ولا يومين أما لشهر هذه لسنين نحن مع الجيش ومع الدولة اللبنانية برجع بقول لك بس إنه هذه الخرقات ما عش مش لازم نقبلها وهن جماعة مش إنه قصة خرقات بالأرض بس هي خرقات بالجو خرقات على الأرض عم بيفوتوا بيطلعوا ما حدش عم بيشوفهم، بس هن عم بفوتوا، هن فاتوا فجروا بيت بكراج هون بيارون.
Wall building, land stealing, repeat. Some housekeeping. I spoke at the Palestine Tribunal in Ottawa recently regarding the role of the Canadian media in Gaza's genocide. We are currently editing that, and I will have all of that online and ready for you, so watch out for that. And I will be back in Toronto next week. And if you like the work we do and want to make sure that we keep on doing it unfettered and unfiltered, please head on over to patreon.com/onthelinemedia. We promise to keep you in the know. Until next time, stay tuned.